The Votann are an interesting society. While officially classified as Xenos, they have links to humanity and would, if they were part of the Imperium, most likely be accepted as abhumans. Accepted might be a big word here, but Redlings or Okrins are integrated into the Militarum, and what higher acceptance could there be in the Imperium? An integration into the Imperium would never really be possible though, as the second half of the Votann society is blasphemy against the Omnissiah. The kin, how the flesh and blood members of the society call themselves, have seamlessly integrated the Iron Kin into their society as equal citizens. Self-aware thinking machines, abominable intelligence. This close relationship is exemplified by the Prokirs. They are engineers and artisans of the Leagues, and Ironmasters are the most accomplished of their kind. In battle they take on the duty of maintaining damaged kin war engines, often aided by Ironkin and cog repair crews. Those veteran Prokirs also bring their most powerful creations to war, taking satisfaction in unleashing them upon the foe with their own hands. Hi, it's Tacticus. Squads? What squads? Well, the short humans reared their heads again, recently in the 40k universe, and have been interestingly reiterated into the Leagues of Votann. Very intriguing lore, I love them, and most of their design is quite cool, although I'll still have to come to gripes with the faceless Ironkin. Our first taste of those Xenos, as which they will be subsequently be categorized in Tacticus as well, comes in the form of Vynn Conglahr, a new mechanic summoner. He is a rare character, and you'll be able to secure him in a zero release event from the 15th of February. Being able to repair as well as getting mechanical summons on the field immediately spikes my interest. The summons, by the way, are cogs, unintelligible robots, not Ironkin utilized for menial tasks. Let's start with them. And I really have to be careful with my German accent, as it really butchers this word and makes it comically. His passive ECOG support summons an ECOG on an adjacent hex whenever Vynn repairs a friendly unit. You can only have 3 ECOGs on the field, similar to Tangida's helpers. If you would get one and already have the maximum number, a random ECOG next to Vynn also performs a repair. The ECOGs have pretty average health, but do have an above average armor. Their damage is quite unimpressive against low armor enemies, but above average against high armor targets with their range 1 plasma attack. They can fly, are mechanical and are mechanics? Yes, whenever you repair, you summon a little repair drone doing your work for you. This is an interesting concept. It means that in guild raids, while more summons are cool, they won't help Exitor score his hits, as of course they'll rather repair their allies. In legendary events, this is insane though. And you know, I'm pleased to say you can repair undamaged allies with Vynn, so you get some more of those delightful robots on screen. Other than mechanic, Vynn only has the new prioritized efficiency trait, which seems to shape up as the faction trait for the Votann. Basically, Vynn starts the game with the Hostile Acquisitions buff, which increases damage by 25%, gives him 1 extra movement, helping with the Votann's low 2 base move. Basically an always-on rapid assault. Beware that it says it increases damage for attacks, so no hidden healing buff for him here. The buff refreshes each turn and stays on for the whole turn, so it's basically always on. As soon as Vynn uses an active, he instead switches to Fortified Takeover from the beginning of the enemy's turn on, which sees him take 33% less damage. This switch also occurs when a friendly Votann uses an ability. Both are visualized by striking colorful runes around the hex, making it immediately visible what stance the Votann are in. I love that this is easier to see at a glance compared to, for example, Tangida, and it fits their style quite well. How well can Vynn himself repair? Let's see his damage. Vynn's base damage is as average as it can get, and with his 3 hits he does some decent damage. On par with Celestine and Jäger against unarmored opponents. Rank 27. This doesn't include the prioritized efficiency buff yet, and as you have to actively switch, you'll start out the game and stay as long as you want at place 9 actually, between Snotflogger and Ragnar. As repairing uses the damage stat without armor considered, let's compare with other mechanics in game quickly. His repair numbers are the second best in game right now. Yes, Gibber is number 1. It's crazy, I didn't anticipate this. Gibber doesn't call for summons that repair though. Aleph repairs passively as well, so his numbers should be higher, actually pulling him ahead. Vitruvius is more support than attacking really, and Actus makes repaired targets attack, so all have pretty different use cases. You could argue that Vynn will have an ECOG. You can't target it, but it lets him look better, and if he has 3 of them, he can pull ahead. And here he is with the 4th one for that maximum repair turn where his 3 robots repair, and after he does so, a random ECOG repairs again. Pretty unlikely, and where do you get that much damage, but it's possible. With his power attack profile, he can also actually do some damage really against armored enemies too. At place 29 in a head-to-head with Baldur, Jäger and Celestine, and place 6 total in damage against armor considering his trait. But you should probably not bring him to the front lines, because his health is below average at rank 75. If you use your active early and get the damage reduction, you can see this as actually just outside of the top 10, as you effectively need the damage of 2834 to defeat him. His armor is pretty high at 639, which makes him place 11, just behind Toth and Rotbone. The faction trait makes Vynn hard to judge. He can be quite bulky when you switch early, and his damage without switching is quite high already, so you most likely will switch when you are in the thick of it and are in actual danger of getting hurt. A mechanic that's dead can't repair anymore, so switching to preserve him seems a good idea. With his active, Vynn switches to offense. His Gravitron rifle shoots with range 2 and similar to the craft weapon of Cyjax deals physical damage, which has its pierce ratio increased by 55% against Gravis, Terminator and mechanical units. It also stuns the enemy. We don't have too many sources of this, so this might be good for missions. Stunned enemies can't use their abilities, so this can also have a great strategical value. The raw damage would be place 2, just behind Thaddeus for ranged attacks, with of course physical dragging it down. Against infinite armor, it is also slightly better than Cyjax in the second to last place. Against its specific targets though, it deals 1436 damage. That's 50% better than Tutmosis' attack, the best ranged attack against infinite armor we have in game. Yes, really. This mechanic knows what he's doing, and he's quite good at disassembling machines too. Just remember, it's quite specific to shooting low armor targets as well as mechanical Gravis and Terminator units. Before you use it, you will be in hostile acquisition mode, so you'd actually even do 25% more damage, so the damage is basically double to the second strongest shooting attack once per game against choice targets. What are his applications? As you've learned in the survival event, he's cool there. Constant summons, repairs his allies, that's cool. He of course suffers a bit from the Gibber Scraps syndrome of not being able to heal himself, which hurts bad. As a Xenos character you cannot use him in a lot of modes effectively, and the mechanic won't fit in the guild raid team either. His summons are mechanical, but there's better and more plentiful mechanical summoners out there, where the summons will actually attack. In legendary events summoning and healing are valued, but you know that not healing himself and the fluctuating defensive values are a problem. I think he'll be fun, but there's better characters out there. In the melee only and maximum and minimum hits categories he's nothing special. Mechanics are now a possible restriction without chaos. Physical is decently rare, as is power, but especially in the without Imperium tracks. Having him work with Chaos more often is a bit weird, as relatively close as the Votann are culturally to the Imperium. More healing units are always great, and this is a cool introduction to the Votann. The faction trait is quite interesting. I feel like those get more complicated, and this one gave me some headaches, but generally it's easy enough to understand. Vynn is quite flexible, and the low move of 2 won't hurt you much when using him in legendary events. In survival, use of his active is discouraged as it would hinder his movement too much. The passive is the only ability in game summoning units that can actually heal, which is quite unique. I definitely like Vynn, and both his active and passive seem worthwhile investments, with the passive taking the lead as it enhances his inherent value, healing mechanical units and keeps him out of harm's way. Before I get to the mythical content, if you liked my video so far, please consider using my friend code BAD60do for 100 Blackstone for you and various rewards for milestones you reach after using it for me. You can further motivate me by subscribing to my channel and liking the video, so you don't miss any future videos. Vynn immediately starts into the game with his own relic, the Volumm Master's Artifice, which from its effect is bound to be a single character relic. Like most more recent relics, it addresses a weakness in Vynn's kit. He can't heal himself, but if you equip him with this crit item, after Vynn and his ecogs have performed 8 repairs collectively, Vynn heals himself for a lot of health and can use his active again. This not only allows you to switch stance again should you want to, but also makes you a lot more hardy. Of course, this needs mechanical units to actually heal around, so it's very dependent on team composition, but it really helps that he can do repairs to healthy fighters. In the right teams, this is great. I'm not sure what to think of a relic that fixes a weakness in a character, so it's kind of essential if you want to use him in a wave-based mode successfully. You need to get Vynn to Mythic for that, and hero release events after all don't really give you the opportunity to reach that target, so it will be a long while until you can use his full potential. Mythic missions for Xenos characters are always interesting to solve, as you of course can't do so in campaigns, and need a lot of investment to get them strong enough to defeat enemies in Arena. Mission 1 tasks you to defeat a Terminator unit with Vynn, which should be easy to achieve in Arena. Damage a Terminator to get rid of the damage reduction and use Vynn's active to dispose of them. Terminators are popular after all. You see all enemies before a fight, so this should be doable. Mission 2 needs you to repair a lot with Vynn. To reach the 6000 damage necessary, you need to get a damage set of 2000, which you only surpass Diamond 3, assuming Blue Star. Alternatively, you can buff his damage with Conglahr. Now you only need a target, like a high level Reverse that can actually be healed by 6000 health. Mission 3 tasks you to summon 80 units, which should be doable, as you can summon 3 in one battle if no one dies and can farm this in one battle. Provided the enemy keeps killing ecogs, but isn't strong enough to outright kill you. Do this in any mode you like that allows you to take Vynn alongside mechanical units. If your arena rank is too high, this can easily happen in Onslaught with Necrons as friends. Mission 4 is relatively easy again, needing you to defeat a Gravis character. The range of Gravis enemies is far smaller than the number of Terminators, but as soon as you find a Bellator or a Burkhardt or a Conglahr, all common enemies in Arena, you can tick this one off. Mission 5 needs you to do damage with both types Vynn possesses, which, like always, is mostly grind. Phew! A few easy ones to solve this time again. Let me know what you think of Vynn down in the comments. Do you like dwarves? Which further units do you expect for the Votann to be included in game? As always, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.